Tay marker, no one will save you. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I am your host, Ryan Diego, Ryan680.
I'm Angela Bacadian.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. If you have not already, be sure to like and subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page for movie reviews. In this case, trailer reactions. We actually got a podcast, by the way, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to us on that. And we got a horror podcast. If you are a true horror fan, if you like scary movies and all that theme, we got a really good podcast coming out for you guys. We're going to do a small little live segment coming out to you this Saturday, and we'll have the full episode will be available very soon. Come to find out, guys, if you have not already, we decided to actually collab with Nerds Coliseum, which they do a really good job over there, and they with Kristen and Trey, and they're part of the crew now, vice versa. So they actually have a Nerds Coliseum. They're coming back after being pretty much almost a year without doing a podcast. Can you believe that? It's crazy.
Time flies.
Yeah, time does fly by. They moved over here, but hey, best part is that they are back. Horror is back. Halloween season is here. The spooky season. Speaking of the spooky season, Angela, what are we talking about today?
So this is an interesting one. It's called No One Will Save You. It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
the Hulu movie, and it's a lot of things. A lot of things.
Yeah, Hulu original tells of an exiled woman, homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into her home. And that pretty much sums it up. Now let me get right into this, guys, because this is a horror sci-fi thriller. This really is. And to put into perspective here, when it comes down to films, any type of films like this, or when it comes to creatures, aliens, we go back to where the one film that I could think of to my knowledge that I really did love, that still stuck with me, and it's one of the great films in my point of opinion, right? Call it what it is. Signs. Signs is that spooky walk that he just makes a glance of when the kids are just right there by the birthday party.
Where he's coming out of the cornfield. Yeah.
Oh my God, that creeps me out.
that movie traumatized me. Like that scene when I was a kid, I watched it way too young, and it still kind of freaks me out to this day. So that's good filmmaking, right?
Oh yeah.
I love supernatural as much as the next person. I love the paranormal, all that. Home alien invasion, we see the abductions, we hear about them, we see movies about it before. This is actually a really interesting take on this, because it's not just the abduction with just the light. It's a little bit more than that, like an alien home invasion, so this person who's essentially been exiled to her home, that's her safe space, aliens break into her home, and she has to kind of survive the night kind of thing. And it's such an interesting concept because there is pretty much virtually no dialogue in this whole film. It's very bold. I gotta say, going back to
interesting
choice.
Yeah, it really is. I didn't expect that at all, because we watched a real quick trailer of this, and I was like, okay, well, I've been hearing good things about it. We gotta talk about this. We have to talk about this movie. I was telling Angela, we have to talk about this. And I gotta say, Brian Duffield, you took a risk.
And it paid off.
And it paid off, man. That risk was having no dialogue, maybe one or two words out of there, maybe a sentence, maybe.
And it makes sense. No, it makes sense because the whole message and the theme behind the takeaway, it makes sense. The actual words that are spoken, because there are words that are spoken. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. So I gotta say though, I gotta give him props. I agree. That's a big risk that paid off, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's written, directed by him, and I gotta say, this is definitely one of those films to where, because he's not unknown from the film industry. He helped wrote Cocaine Bear. He's actually written a few. So this is actually one of his second directorial debut. He actually wrote the screenplay for Underwater, wrote the screenplay for The Divergent.
I think
the
his
first
directorial debut was Spontaneous a few years ago.
Yeah, Spontaneous.
Which I unfortunately didn't watch. I'm so sorry.
The Babysitter, which was another hit. I think Netflix, that was a really good hit for the first Babysitter.
I didn't see that one.
And, I gotta say, after all this movie was really good. This movie was fantastic. So, if it's staying in that realm of sci-fi, it's great. This is a fantastic film. I will talk about the two things that I had a problem with this movie, because not every movie is perfect. There's two things that were just like, why? But as far as story, as far as there's no dialogue, right? As far as the creativity in here, as far as the original output of this of originality of filmmaking, of cinema, This is great. One of the things I gotta say though is that I am so ticked off, just like Prey. Prey was another great film, both by 21st Century Fox or Disney, whatever you want to call it. Both of these movies deserve to be in theaters.
Yeah, I agree.
We saw Prey and we saw it here. I mean, granted, it's fine. It wasn't extra. Okay, whatever. I'm not complaining about that. I'm complaining that I didn't pay for it to go see it in a theater.
I think I think when we started watching it, obviously we're in the comfort of our home. There's lights and stuff. This is a movie that would be great in theaters because it's dark and it has a lot of surround sound. There's a lot of good bass moments in this. There's a lot of good very dark scenes that it's perfect for a theater setting. So that I agree with you. I wish I had seen it in a theater,
especially with no dialogue. It needs to really rely on sound.
And it's funny because I know a lot of times when I watch movies from our home, I'm on my phone, I'm on working on my laptop, whatever, right? I can do both. This is actually the first movie in a very, very, very long time that I actually captured my full attention. I didn't feel the urge to kind of look at my phone, didn't feel the urge to kind of look away, do this, do that. I wanted to stay and watch the film. Yeah. For a film with no dialogue or virtually no dialogue, that's pretty good. And I gotta say, I give him props. And I also gotta give props where props is due. It really solely relies on the main actress, Caitlin Dever. Yeah, she had to hold the film. Smokes. And holy smokes, she held it down. Dude. Fantastic. I know we've seen her in other stuff. Booksmart, so the first thing that comes to mind. She was great in that. I know she's done other stuff, but she's so talented to be able to capture the focus for the entire film. For me, was phenomenal. So I got to give her props.
She carries this film so much, Caitlin Dever. You did a fantastic job. I got to say, you carried this movie. This movie relies solely on you, literally. Yes. And you delivered 110%. Yes. And I couldn't ask for anyone more because you just, it was really great, fantastic, captivating. There was so many moments where we're in this with you, girl. We're in this with you. Yeah. And you just we're rooting for you. And the twist in here, I gotta say, we're not gonna mention the twist at all, but there's a little twist in here. And I gotta say,
the ending. It's a different ending, which I like. I appreciate. Yeah. It's kind of like food for thought. Yeah. But also, I gotta say, I know you're gonna say the next one was that you had said it off camera was the CGI of the aliens. Yes. You didn't like the way they looked. Is that correct?
No. Okay, yeah. So
how did you like the way they looked?
So that was my two end things. Okay, so my two end things. One was the CGI on the big creature, which we all see in the trailer. This big creature that comes up, it almost looks like I was in my head because I'm a Star Wars nerd. Remember those creatures that were in remember you had to kill them in Star Wars Battlefront 2? There's these tall creatures and they have these they walk just like the aliens did. Those tall creatures, they had those that fade. Oh, it was weird. It was they're from that planet where they're from that star system where all the where it's nothing but plants and all that. And they're just attacking you. Anyways, long story short, it kept reminding me of that for one, and two, I just didn't like the way the CGI was, especially on there's a scene where it's a small little action where the creature's running towards her. And in the trailer, I was all like, okay, it was a little pixelated in the trailer. I was like, maybe that's just the trailer. Maybe let's give it benefit of the doubt. But it wasn't, and I gotta say, I did not like that. As far as the CGI goes for the aliens, I didn't mind it at all. When it comes to the up close,
the way they looked,
the regular aliens were good. I was happy. I was very excited because I was very curious and kind of I hope they don't look too, I don't know, just too pixelated, but they did it for me in my take. They looked good for what they came out to be for being a streaming film, And another film I do want to recognize, guys, moviegoers out there, and I know moviegoers will always mention this nonstop, and I have to reconcile. I have to really, really think about it. But, Close Encounters is another fantastic film. It's, fantastic. Fire in the Sky is another great film. But I think they're both great films, though. Close Encounters, of course, Steven Spielberg. They're both great films. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And another film I got to say, but that doesn't have. It's more of a thriller. The Fourth Kind was still.
That one was pretty cool. Like I said, that was a pretty
eye-opening.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I disagree with you. I don't think that CGI was terrible. On certain scenes, when they're running. And I liked the way the aliens looked because even though they kind of look like your stereotypical skinny gray, big heads kind of thing, I really liked that some of the things that they were doing to communicate were different. Like how they were communicating with the starship, like they were doing this kind of thing with their arms. They had their purpose. They had purpose, right?
Well, see, I didn't mind that. It was more the chasing. That's what
I liked it because it was creepy, and it was it's pretty terrifying to have this big creature that looks like a spider, which I'm terrified of spiders, come running at you full speed. I agree with you. Could have been done better. Yeah, sure. But I like the way the creatures look. The only thing I will say, and it's a complaint with a lot of films, not just this one. They show a lot of the good scenes in the trailer, and I felt this was it, right? Yeah. As much as I love the film, there were certain scenes that were a little predictable because I had seen it in the trailer. So if you are going to see this, I recommend not seeing a trailer because it's very good. I think that it's a film that you should be surprised in those moments, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I would just encourage you from watching the trailer, but I would still highly recommend this film. Beautifully done, great, scary, did its purpose. It had deeper meaning to it, so it was much more than a home invasion, right?
Yeah.
Ending, it's up to you. I think I liked it, but I know it's not going to be what everyone wants.
And that's the thing too, is I really think, in my honest opinion, guys, and moviegoers out there, whether you like this ending of this movie or not, I kind of feel like, in a way, that you're gonna like it in some aspect of the other. You're gonna like it how it's revealing. You're gonna like how the surprising of it, the surprise, like, oh crap, like what is she doing?
And it makes you question, like, also, like, it's a little open-ended, you know. It's up to your interpretation of what's going on. I mean,
the director himself even said it. I mean, we talked about it in our interview. You know, it's just the fact that this how the small town society cannot accept this person anymore because of the fact that a death did happen. And we're not going to go too much into detail, but a death did happen, and it affected the town, affected everybody there, and they did not look at it the same. But the fact that an alien race comes in and pretty much has mercy and empathy and all this, and it's just it's very revealing. It's very interesting. It really is because it contrasts. It's like a, you know, it's just a contrast on the human race. Like, how can we, if we can't forgive ourselves, you know, do any situations, you know, just, I kind of feel like that. Anyone, I mean, maybe it's definitely a situation issue, right? Yeah, it has to be. I mean, of course, with anything. It's
like I said, it's much more than a home invasion movie, and much more than an alien abduction movie. That. It has deeper meaning, has deeper messages, you know, all about forgiveness, self-forgiveness, forgiveness of others. So I like the takeaway. Yeah. It is something you have to think about. And I think it's something a lot of us are going to relate to, that deeper message. So I got to say, yes, I remember that one. Yeah. I think
is the Star Wars character, by the way.
Yeah, I think
looks like it.
Again, you're going to have to really pay attention to certain things, but I think for the most part, people are going to like this movie. I really hope so. Yeah. Again, I would have loved to have seen it in theater, but definitely. You know what? Hey, we're getting ready for spooky season. I'm all on board for a supernatural.
I'm always on board for an alien movie. It doesn't matter if it's Prometheus, doesn't matter if it's Alien Covenant. I mean, there's just nonstop Battlefield of Los Angeles. There's just nonstop different genres of alien. Yeah, what was it?
Independence Day.
Oh, of course, Independence Day, right? I mean, come on, it's 4th of July. I mean, aliens show up on 4th. All right. Was it fun? We deserve to say yes. Hell yes. Rating 1 out of 10. 10 be the highest. I want to give this rating
an 8 because I think it was so well done. Again, it has a deeper takeaway. Yeah. Cannot say enough good things about Caitlin Dever. She was fantastic. And I think it was written and directed very well. It had a good flow. Yeah. Again, it kept my attention for a movie that you watched at home. Yeah. That you have so many distractions, right? You can just it's so easy to pause and stuff. Of course. I didn't want to do that. It caught my attention and I wanted to see it through the end. I wanted to sit through. I think it's like an hour and a half, right? Yeah. The whole time I was very like
and the runtime's great. The runtime's great.
I wouldn't add anything. I wouldn't add anything. No. And so I think it was very well done in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, I kind of feel like this is definitely one of those movies in my point of opinion because it might be too smart or too clever for its own good because I feel like the average moviegoer that it's not like us or anything like that, I feel like they're not going to like it because they're going to be like, they're so used to that you know, that. I feel like they're so used to that creepiness.
It's creepy.
It was creepy moments, but maybe they wanted more out of the aliens, but I don't think they're gonna like the expectation or the outcome, what the aliens do at the very end. In my point of opinion,
yeah, like I said, I think the ending you either like it or you don't.
In my point of opinion, though, as far as critics goes, I think critics are going to enjoy this just like we did, and I feel like that moviegoers that are actually have invested time watching all the past, it doesn't matter, alien films, Fire in the Sky, Close, they're not. I feel like they're not going to be happy. And
I hope you are, because again, I think it deserves a pretty good recognition. I think it's going to get a lot of good word of mouth. I hope so.
Yeah.
But what would you rate it? 1 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this a solid 7.5 just because of the CGI. There's certain CGI moments in here I'm just like, but
cringe.
It's just too. It's really reality. It's just 2 scenes, and I'm okay with it. I'm still giving it above average rating. I'm still giving it a really good rating, 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, I do recommend. The story is great. The story arc is really great, and it really keeps you interested throughout this whole film, guys. And I gotta say, you know, just a movie with no dialogue is very ballsy. And it's this guy's got big balls, man. That's all I'm saying, and I respect it.
And really it paid off. I gotta say, I think it paid off in the end.
Definitely, guys. All right, questions for you guys. Did you enjoy this movie? Are you planning on seeing it? Are you kind of like, this movie was boring, guys? I don't know what y'all talking about.
Fall, y'all. It's spooky season.
Yeah, put comments down below, and be sure to check us out on the Nerds Coliseum. We'll be going live very soon, guys, and we'll talk about it. Stay tuned. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. You can know Ryan680.
Banjo the Cadian.
This is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Stay safe, San Antonio. Catch you later. Peace.